Hey guys, welcome aboard. This is going to be update 13 for my Southern California Orange County layout. And as you can see, I started weathering my SP Locomotive. This is just pass one, so expect a little bit more changes. But yeah, just it was so hot over the weekend here in Southern California that I decided to stay inside instead of in the garage because it was like 95 or something, and I decided to go ahead and weather this locomotive because it was looking kind of pristine, and I don't like that. So just a quick view here of the locomotive, then I'm going to take you over to the workbench. I'll show you what I use to do my weathering here, but let's take a look at the layout first. So number one, I have been trying different types of, well, ground cover over here. This area is obviously the Sanford & Sons junkyard, so I thought it'd be a good spot to do all my testing. And not really liking how the ground cover came out here. I know the lighting's a little funky, so there's a couple different spots that I tried it on. This section of the run right here, it's a mixture of grout and pastels and dirt and you know, tan fine ballast. Didn't really like the way it came out here along the edge, but again, this is just testing. This looks okay, but that's heavily weathered with a lot of airbrushing and everything else. I think I'm gonna like do the KISS method, keep it simple. I think what I'm going to do is just use some of my tan ballast that I have over here, along with sort of like an almond colored grout. I'm just going to mix that together, slap it on with some paint, and call it done. That's going to be the next thing I test out here, because I think that actually looks the best. You know, as opposed to using real dirt. Unfortunately, the dirt in my around my house here, it looks nice when it's really dry, but even after gluing, and this is dry, this is totally dry, it comes out really dark. So I'm not a fan of that. It might look okay, but it's just too dark for me. So anyway, that's pretty much it. That's all I've been doing on the weekend. Did a couple of test patches there for the ground cover, and then started weathering the locomotive. So let's pop over to my little workbench just on the other side of the garage. I'll show you what I use for doing the weathering. Alright guys, here we are, and here's the products that I use. So, and kind of the order in which I use them too. Number one is Vallejo Model Wash. It's like European Earth, I think. So I pretty much just cover the entire model with that. Water-based, let it dry. Then I move on to the powdered pigments here, and I've got 3 different ones that I use. I start out with the dark sort of red one right here. That gives me the base coloring here. You can kind of see it really good right there. Kind of, there's a good patch right there. And then I move on to, I think it's yellow ochre or something like that. Or, yeah, yellow ochre is the one in the middle. And then I have just white to really dust it up. And then I haven't done this yet, but I do streaking effects. These are enamels. And then the light rust. It's a wash, but I use it very sparingly. And I think I only touched 1 or 2 spots here on the locomotive with any of that yet. Maybe around the fuel tank, I think, right there. But I also seal everything in with a matte, what do you call it, lacquer, you know, finish sealant. And locomotive's starting to get there. I've got to get a little bit of black powder. What I do is I use my pastels right there. I shave off a little bit of black, and I use that to powder up a little bit more. So like this locomotive is probably about like 70% done here, I'm going to say, with the weathering. I think it looks pretty good. I know it sometimes with the lighting here it looks a little bit a little bit different than it does in real life. It's actually, the camera's brightening it up a little bit. It actually looks a little bit darker than this. So that's it for now. There's update 13. I will keep on going with the weathering of the locomotive here. And the plan is to renumber it. I'm going to have a yellow patch on the number there for UP, and we'll renumber it. Not sure exactly what I'm going to renumber it to, or keep the same number or just put another number. And then the SP up front over here is probably going to get changed. I'm not sure if I'm just going to cover that up with some red paint and then put a Union Pacific badge on there. I've seen a couple of different prototypes that just had the badge right over the SP and stuff like that. So anyway, that's the plan. It should be a little bit cooler this week here, meaning it's only going to be like 90 or something. So I think I'll have some more time to actually play around on the layout. Until then, in the next update, take care, guys.